is the new Ford Super Duty 2017 install video for the front end replacement. When you get the truck, the first thing you're going to do is it's got some little plastic covers right here. There's some bolts right behind here that you got to take off to take the bumper off. There's some little clips up underneath there. You just grab them, pull down right there, and that thing just snaps out of there. Okay. You can see the two black bolts on this side of the tow hook, and on this side there's 4 of them on each side that you're going to have to take loose. There's also a support bracket up underneath on each side. We're going to show you that bracket when we get the bumper off so you can see it a lot easier. The 4 bolts here, you've got an impact mechanism. It's a 18 millimeter. When you start taking them, there's a plate that's got the 2 nuts welded on the back side, so you want to kind of don't take one all the way out and then the other one. It helps if you alternate, get them a little bit out as you go, like this. Let's go the other way. This is the clip right here that I was talking about, okay, and those bolts are in here. So if you take one out all the way and you do the other one, it's just going to sit there and spin behind the bumper on you. So if you alternate it like that, it's a lot easier. Okay, we're going to have one person on each side. We're going to take the bumper off and we're going to lay it up on a cart over here, and then we'll flip it upside down and I'll show you the braces on each side of the bumper, and then we're going to show you how to take the fog lights out, if you have fog lights, which this one does, to put in your front end. Okay, so we're going to take the bolts off now. I took one out a little bit too soon, so I'm going to have to stick my hand up underneath there and hold that plate, which is no big deal. Maybe. When you're taking one out too far like I did before the other one was ready, just go ahead and put that thing back in there like that. That little back pad, you really don't want to try to grab it with your hand. Use a pair of pliers, because that thing can smash your finger when it starts rotating. So then we're going to finish taking that thing out. And then you can do it that way. Okay, it's a lot easier. Okay, they're going to take that bumper off and set it on the cart now. Okay, on this one side here, this is the bracket that's got to come loose off the truck on each side. There's 2 15 millimeter bolts right here. There's also 2 15 millimeter bolts right here. If you take these off right here, that's all you got to do to get it off the truck. On this other side over here, we've already taken it off. We've got to get the fog light out, so those other 2, take that off so you can get to the fog light. This bracket we've got right here, you can see that we just took those other 2 out. You're going to just take that off of there like that. On this fog light here, you got to unplug your light right there that just pulls out. Pull that back and it slips out real easily. To get the light out, there's 4 1/4 inch, bolts right here that you need to go ahead and take out. This is it's a big old harness that thing's in, or housing, whatever you want to call it. To take these 4 1/4 inch or 5/16 bolts out, so we can get that housing out of there. Okay, once you got that housing's going to lift up. Now we got to get this light out of here, okay? So the first thing you need to do is this little adjuster screw and all. They even got a cutesy little hole right there so you can stick your screwdriver through there to get that screw out of there. This is the adjuster screw to adjust the light up and down, which will go back on the new bracket that is in your front end. So keep all that. Don't lose your spring. To get that light out of there, what I've done is take a screwdriver, stick underneath there. You just got to play with it. There's a little dowel, that's what I call it, a little dowel that goes in that little slot or round hole right there. But you got one on each side. So you got to kind of pull that aside. I got one to pop out. Well, my screwdriver's a little too far in there, so if you grab it from the edge right there, then that light will pop out of there a little bit easier. And that's how your light's going to come out of there, okay? In a little bit, once we get the front end up here, we're going to show you how that light goes in there. But for right now, let's go back to the truck and we're going to show you how to put your mounting brackets on. Doing the mounting brackets here, these little cup things, if you got, I believe it's just four-wheel drive trucks that have these things. These have to come off. I don't think the two-wheel drives do. But the sides, you're going to have two bolts on each side that you got to take loose, and they're 18mm bolts. And they're going to have a little keyway that holds both the bolts together. Those are the guys that got to come out. And on the other side, the same way. Again, that thing goes off and does not go back on. We need to take these 4 tow hook bolts out here, and they are 18mm bolts. You got an impact, a little easier. Just take them out. Your mounting bracket, or frame bracket, or whatever you want to call it on the truck, and tow hook is together. So it's going to come off of there. You're going to get, this is the mounting bracket right here. You're going to put that back in there just like that. On this truck, the mounting brackets are fit either side. There's not a left or a right. And you're going to put it right back where it goes. The tow hook bolts are going to go back in there. Like that. We'll put these front 2 in there so I can show you there. The back ones, you've got an impact, you can get to the back ones. These guys here, you're actually going to have to use a wrench to tighten up. You can't get the impact back up underneath there. We got some half by 1 3/4 bolts in the bolt bag, and these are the guys that you're actually going to use for the side there. Don't use your old one, it's not quite long enough. You're going to use those half by 1 3/4 in the side. And that's what you're going to do on both sides. You're going to have 4 on each side of the truck. And then you're going to tighten all that stuff up. Okay? This other side we've already got tightened up just to show you and everything. You see these bolts right here in the side right there, and that bracket's up against there, up against the back of your plate. When you mount your front end, these 6 bolts on each bracket are actually going to be in the bolt bag, the half by 2.5-inch bolts, because you're going to have so much plate, you don't want to use the shorter ones, just so you don't get these side ones and these mixed up on there. And that's all there is to putting the mounting brackets on. And now we're going to go to the front end and we can show you how to put your fog lights in. This is the 2020 Super Duty front end. I'm going to show you how to put the fog lights in the thing. This is your full fog light bracket and everything that comes out of your factory OEM bumper. You're going to have to remove your fog light itself from that bracket. It's just some little, I think T25 hex screws is all it is. There's 4 total. You take that out, and then you can see here, we've already put this side in. You can see how that goes. It goes in there, and then you just reuse your factory screws there. If you do not have this style of light, if you've got what we call the more of the square light, which is this right here, this bracket comes in the kit right here with some 1/4x1 bolts. You can see those little ears right there go around the little circles in the light there, and then we take the factory spring out of the bumper with the little screw right there, and that goes in there. You can make sure you put the washer because the head will suck up in there. But anyhow, you put that in there like that, and that's your leveler for your light. And that once you get that light in there, you're going to mount, I'm going to do this on the other side, you're going to mount it in that little bracket right there that is welded onto the front end. And that's how you put your square light, I call square light, in your front end. If you got adaptive cruise on your truck, you will end up having to cut out on the driver's side these two little slats and the little decorations there. Cut it right there and right there, and then as you see in the picture, your adaptive cruise mounts right there in the back side of the bumper. Got the front end up on there, got a couple guys to help us put it up here. When you get the front end up there, we actually put a jack up underneath there. You got one guy underneath putting the bolts in, but then get a jack up underneath there to start aligning this thing, and you can take a little pressure off of it. You can get, first of all, if I get a tape measure, I'll measure from your light to your light bar or your loop, whatever you want to call it, on both sides, just to make sure you got it right from side to side. And then what I always do is get the rearview mirror lined up at the very center of the front end and back up, and just make sure that the top of your loops right here from side to side are even with your hood line, and that's how you get it right from up and down from side to side. Make sure, if you do got the lights, which we put our lights in here on this one, if you do got lights, make sure you still take the harness out of your factory bumper, because you need the harness out of there, and put it up underneath there and plug everything back in like you unplugged it from the factory. And just make sure all the bolts are tight. Go back through every one of them one more time, make sure they're all really tight.